Mountaintops to Moonscapes by Alan Gignoux. A nice slip cover, cardboard, and inside is a slip cover. It's about the size of an A3. I'll just take this up a little bit. And inside is the main booklet, which again is like an A3 size, and then the information booklet, which is like a zine. It's all sort of thread bound. Limited edition of 100, 56 pages in the large book, 12 page A5 zine, 44 colour photographs in total. So where do I start? It's gorgeous. It's actually really well printed. It's about the Appalachian region in Virginia. The Appalachian mountain range goes from, sort of imagine this as a map of East Coast America, Atlanta down here, right up to Portland and Canada area, and in sort of between this is Washington DC, and then just sort of west of that and down is Virginia, and that's where this focus is, on the Appalachian range of mountains. The book itself is about mountaintop removal. It's about the destruction of the land through mining in this area. It's a massive mountainous and woodland area with lots of biodiversity, or it was. And until about the 1970s, the area was deep coal mined. And then at about 1970, it became cheaper, apparently, to dig from the surface. The holding company who owned all the land, they leased it out to mining companies, and the mining companies just started demolishing the land. And to get the leases for the land and to sort of combat the red tape and getting the clearance that they weren't sort of killing the habitat, they used to just come in and smash all the trees apart and then a claim for the lease, and then they would mine, and then there was nobody saying, oh well, you're going to wreck the place, because they'd already done it. It sounds complicated, and I'm being a bit sort of flippant about it, but that's the gist. Anyway, it's a lovely textured. I'm going to take this up a little bit. It's gorgeous. It's really well printed. It's got a lovely textured feel. The whole concept is very textured. It's done in a very clever way. It's very quiet. Again, here, this is nice and textured, layered. So where will I start? And I am no authority on this, but I have an idea what this book's about. So this is the booklet. More than 500 mountains, which are among the oldest on Earth, have already been sheared off. Now I'll go into that in a second. This is an interview with Jane Branham, who I think is a mountain steward, and Matthew Hepler, and they are sort of stewards, and they look after their land and stuff like there. And this is just an interview with them. And as you can imagine, it's sort of Virginia, in the middle of nowhere, and there's a lot of music and a lot of local sort of folk music and stuff like that. And here's a song sheet from some lyrics about, it's called Mountain Fall and Stop Tearing the Mountain Down. So I think they're probably very vocal, the people in the area, with their music and stuff like that. And that's what music's about, isn't it? So yeah, Jane Branham lyrics, it's actually Jane's song. Now in the centre is this sort of origami style picture, which sort of depicts the whole area in terms of the contrast between what's just happened, or what is happening, and what's being destroyed, and then this beautiful, serene, sort of gorgeous backdrop of what the mountains should be like, and the woodland area. So there's a nice contrast. And I'm under the impression this origami style is to represent the actual anger and the destruction of the ground and the land. So I'll leave that for you to work out as well, but it's a really interesting concept. I definitely think you should try and get one of these, because it's like a limited edition 100, like I said. They're presenting something really important and serious about our environment. That's done to grab your attention, I guess, as well. Now it's big. Now I'm turning it out now. So two A3s, I think, is A2. So you can imagine the size. I'm having trouble placing it on my table here. It's a very layered book. It's got lots of little narratives within one narrative. And let's go into it. So this is one of the opening shots. Now, yeah, it's a sign, and it's like Virginia, and workmanship. It's a very clever shot, I think. I think it's done in a way with the parrot or whatever you call it, and what looks like gunshots in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's a sort of say, welcome to paradise. And this is what it should be like. This is paradise. I think he shot it on 5.4. I presume it's really good quality. I dare say 10.8, but I'm not sure. I would say 5.4. I might be wrong. So yeah, this is the sort of contrast. And you'll find that all the images of the area, the woodland, there aren't any people in. There is people within the context of this, but there aren't any people in there. And we get to the sort of town shots and stuff like that. As I say, it's like desolate. Not dilapidated, but it seems isolated from the rest of the world. Gorgeous colours. Again, it's sharp, really sharp. I will bring the rostrum down in a minute because they look really small looking in the viewfinder, but they actually are quite big because remember, this is an A3 size. So there's a lovely warm tone to it, like a golden hour tone. And the detail in this is incredible. So yes, there's lots of sort of beauty in the way he shot this. There's a lot of delicacy with the framing. It's really sharp. And I'm going to bring it down to give you an idea. You can see the detail. I mean, these big trucks are huge and it's looking so tiny. And the detail is really sharp. Soil and muck and stuff like that. It's beautiful. And then we're coming to sort of the coal miner. Now, there's a lot of divide within the community. There are people working in the coal mines there, still not a lot. People in the towns are scared sometimes to get involved because it might affect their jobs and stuff like that, because there's a lot of opposition within the community about what's going on. Now, not only are they skimming the ground and skimming the land and skimming the woodland, they are destroying the natural streams which are lying underneath the mountains. There's a lot of dust. There's a lot of problems with mortality and health issues in the town. And again, shot almost still. There's nobody there. It's quiet. Very cleverly done, I think. It's a very quiet, subtle book, which is almost a demonstration book. It's almost helping the cause of these people there in demonstrating what's going on and sort of remnants of the past. And again, nothing. It says no U-turn there, no people. I think a worn out American flag there. I'm not sure there's some sort of silo or storage unit, but production of the coal which comes out of this place is something like 5 to 10% of the US coal reserve. It's nothing. And the power from the coal which is used is something like 4%. It just doesn't add up. A lot of things, you know, with the terms of what they're destroying to what use this coal is being put on and how important it is. It's a fraction of the national coal output. Again, he's got this autumny colour within this. There's a sort of very nice warm tone to the whole book. Now, the book sort of stops here, and this picture forms part of another picture in a minute I'm going to show you. Now look at that. You can almost touch it. Again, it's a lot of textures and layers. Now the book stops, like I said. We've got to go now. What do I have to do? Yes, I have to open it up now. And then we've got another side. I'm going to do this other side first. And maybe what I should do is I'll just... Should I bring this down? Actually, that's right. Again, the sort of colonial houses, very quiet, very serene. There's definitely a serenity to this book. And it's almost, like I said, a peaceful protest. Now it says much less dust, thanks. I don't know what that means. I know there's a lot of dust coming off the mines. Now there's a big issue with Obama and Bush. I think Bush helped the mining companies with the mining of this place. I think when the Obama regime came in, I think they may have promised them that they'd try and change it, but they couldn't. And they knew what was going on, but their hands were tied while Bush was in. And the residents still feel as though the government are doing nothing to help them because it's all profit with the coal. And this is quite a busy shot. It's a rarity in here because it now gives you a sense of business enterprise which is going on, and the rest of the book only shows the enterprise within the context of the mining. That's gorgeous. Look at that. I'll bring this down a little bit. And that shimmer there is actually, it's not my lighting, it's the shimmer of the sun and the dust there. He's almost made this horrible rugged landscape quite poetic. It's done in a beautiful way to sort of, I'm not sure he's leveling it off. It's just, it's a sort of, he's added a sort of beauty to the destruction in a sense. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Man, that's biblical. That's amazing. Again, the sharpness. And here is like, I think that looks like a truck there. And you can just see the scale of it. I don't think you can really capture the enormity, and it must have been quite breathtaking to be there, but the quality and the production and the imagery is superb. And I think this booklet is sort of lending itself to the book. You need to sort of read this. It's asking you to go and research a little bit and have a look at what this is about. And I think when you understand a little bit of what it's about, then you can make sense of these pictures. Now, I'm going to drop this again because these trucks here are them huge yellow Tonka toy style trucks, and they're massive. And look how small they look. And again, the scale is breathtaking, and the way Alan shot it is incredible. Now we're in the middle. Now we're like the centerfold. Now, it's going to spread out. I can't cope with it on here. I'm not used to this sort of size of book. But again, now it looks like a sort of, almost like a photo album now. And it's just sort of recapping on the images which we've already shot. It's just sort of adding to them. And there's a sort of similar shots to the other ones. Now this is a mountain steward. This is Jane Bramham. And she's a steward of the mountain. I guess she looks after it, keeps a check on all sorts of things like the biodiversity and fighting the governments. They're continually appealing to Capitol Hill, maybe, I think it is. I don't know what this sort of shop is. There's obviously a Jewish influence there. A majority of the early immigrants that came to this area were from the north of England and Scotland. It's really interesting. There's some German as well. And the rest of the migration of people were workers from all over the world. What's happening here is now this is spreading out. I can't keep up with this. It's mad. It's massive. All right, here we go. A person. Now, I reckon this person here, if you can see him, this person here, who's at the bottom and Jane's at the top, they must be the stewards. He's almost done it in a, it's very, you know what it is? It's a cross. It's almost like a religion features within this. It's almost like a iconic symbol right in the middle of the book, like a cross. Very clever. And there's some about Obama. I'm going to get in there again. That's Obama. So what I'm trying to do, and what I'm fighting my way around here, again, I said it's very difficult on this small table I've got, is we have this. And this, I'm going to pull it out and then I'm going to move it around. We've got this amazing, in fact, if I just take this up, I've got this amazing symbolic cross, an amazing picture right in the centre. Very cleverly done. Beautiful piece of work. Very, very subtle. Executed to a high standard. Produced and presented at a high standard. Only 100 of these. You need to get one. Now, I may have missed some things out, because I said I'm not an authority on this, but I just wanted to give you an insight into how to present work. What you forget, the amount of work and organisation and liaison with the people there and getting the trust and what's gone into something like this. This is one in a series of works which Alan focuses on with land, environmental issues, destruction, and he really subtly observes it and puts it together. And I just wanted to show you, and I think you should check it out. I think you should check out Alan's website. I'll put all the links down there. Really informative, very cleverly done. A lesson here in how you can present stuff in a very subtle way. I like it. Well done, Alan. Thank you. I'll leave that there. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Please share.
Bound down, see us.
Thank you, Alan. Be safe.
See us. Steel dawn. We are storm. We are storm. See us born, see us wind down, see us fly